Hail Reckoners and welcome back! Today's indie game is Convoy. This game is most comparable to FTL in that it is a roguelike game with some exploratory combined with RNG elements and then a real-time combat system which you can pause at any time to issue commands. So today I guess what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take it on easy. I have beaten the game once on normal. There's an even harder setting in which I shudder at the thought of trying. But we're gonna go easy, because I'm gonna stack the deck as much in my favor as possible for this LP, because I kinda just wanna calmly, relaxedly show off a lot of what the game features has. So I'm gonna do like one playthrough, without, you know, with an exorbitant number of side missions. So when you first boot this game for the first time ever, you basically just have this and these two ships. So basically the point of the game is you have this MCV, and you are escorting it around this alien planet. I mean, it's like a Borderlands planet, so it's not Earth, but it's not habited, you know, by aliens solely. There's a lot of bandits and stuff around. So you have this MCV, and you're trying to escort it around with these vehicles to pick up parts to repair your spaceship so you can leave the planet. As you do different things and finish the game in different ways, you unlock other options. So in the spirit of stacking the deck as much in my favor as possible, I'm going to choose the most overpowered vehicles that I currently have unlocked. I definitely don't have everything unlocked. There's a lot of possibilities. I just unlocked these guys, which are super sexy, but I think I'm going to stick with these because I think these are the more broken ones. They're friggin' hovercraft, and they have 3 slots each. So basically a red slot's like an offensive weapon, and a yellow slot's like a utility thing. I mean, I like these because they start with shields, which is my favorite yellow slot item, but they only have the one weapon, which severely limits the maximum damage potential they can do, but they're also upgradable. I'll get into upgrades later. So we're going to go with these guys for now, just because why not. And then we're going to go with the ship I just unlocked from being normal, which is basically the exact same vehicle as the starting one, but it has 4 stun guns instead of just the one. I do quite like this one, which has 1 drone that leeches health and 3 repair drones which can remove health from it to repair these. I usually sell 2 off in the beginning, but I just got this guy, so we're gonna play some games with him. So let's go! I'm not gonna read all the story. Basically, we're on the planet of Omek Prime, and we have to recover a blue R998X chip, a flux capacitor, a multicellulose infused ethanol, and sonic screws. These 4 items are randomized each game from a different subset, and even the how to get them is somewhat different. There's different possible series of tasks you have to do to get each one, and, you know, like I said, different ones. So that's cool. And one of the reasons why I can't consistently beat it on normal yet, which is why I'm not doing it on normal. I can consistently beat it on easy. Hopefully it doesn't jinx anything. So I guess we'll start going for the first one first. Why the heck not? So we have a little arrow showing us it's in this direction and it's 259 kilometers away. We have our screws, which are used to repair our vehicles and upgrade our vehicles and buy things as we encounter them. Fuel will just deplete over time as we travel around. If you stick to the roads, you go far, far faster. The more white something is, the more higher elevation it is, therefore the slower you go on it, and, you know, and fuel's a time thing, so I stick to the roads whenever possible. It actually took me a slightly depressingly long amount of time to figure that out. So here we have a random encounter. We can either fight them, or we can burn 5 fuel to attempt to avoid the fight. I'm gonna fight, because right now we kinda just need to grind. You don't get experience in this game, but you get screws and fuel and stuff, which is useful for, you know, leveling up, essentially. So it's like, screws are almost like experience in some ways. So I've hit space here to pause combat. I'm issuing commands. I can click on my individual guys and click on, basically, this invisible grid, little squares. And I clicked on them to shoot this. The green thing is their range, which is not determined by their weapons, but is a statistic of the vehicle. So we're gonna shoot this guy. And then we also have control of the 4 modules on our MCV, so we're just gonna stun lock these guys, because this vehicle is OP as cuss. Yeah, we're gonna take very little damage, probably. Which is important in these roguelikes, because attrition is like the name of the game, obviously. Okay, we took some damage. Let's just friggin' screw you with that, and switch targets to you. And blast him. Come on, come on, come on, thank you. Now, you don't have to pause the game ever, but obviously it makes issuing commands significantly more helpful. You can't actually, so if I stunned him now, okay, that didn't work because there's a delay on the fire. But if somebody is stunned, you cannot re-stun them. It won't stack. It'll clear when the first stun clears. So there will always be a brief window. I'm gonna pause it here. See this skull? Because technically, even though like, because we're fighting relative to each other, it's kind of just like a static grid. But flavor-wise, you know, this thing's moving through space to the right, so we're traveling over the road. This means there's an obstacle coming. Some obstacles just deal damage, like landmines or wrecks. This means it's like a Gorham wall. So anything in this row, by the time this thing comes, will be destroyed outright. And that brings me to one of my biggest issues with this game, is let's say these two support craft are like right next to each other, and I issue a command at the same time. I pause the game and issue a command at the same time for both of them to go to a certain place. The pathing for that, for the vehicle behind the first vehicle, can be really bizarre sometimes. So a lot of times you have to just issue commands to one vehicle, wait for it to vacate the adjacent square, and then issue commands to the second vehicle, because I have lost vehicles because it just went in a route I did not think it was going to and plowed right into a wall or something. So these are radio signals. There is an achievement for not interacting with any radio signals, and I kind of want to get that one, but I'm not going to do it this game because, like I said, I want to show things off. So these can be good, these can be bad, these can be whatever. A radio signal appeared to be originating from a lone raider vehicle stood by the side of the road. Let's investigate. It would appear the raider vehicle has ran out of fuel, which explains why it is stranded by the side of the road. We'll talk to him. Yeah, we'll give you 10 fuel. He's a jerk. Let's chase him. He can't run forever. Okay, never mind. Did we get a side mission for that actually? That sometimes there was some spot. It did. Payback time. Where is he? Oh god, how did he get so far away? Wow. These are villages. These are places with shops, so you can buy things. You can change the equipment of your vehicles there. You can buy more fuel, and you can repair. You get close and you hit camp. I'm going here because I'm going to equip this autocannon 60mm. Because it's way better than these regular. Basically, it's 3 of these, but it only takes up 1 slot. So we're going to do that. And let's spend some screws to upgrade these. These are interesting vehicles to start with, because you can upgrade health once. You can upgrade armor a ton. A lot of other vehicles have at least 2 or 3 in each of these. So these drones are abnormal. But we're going to upgrade a little bit. And you can upgrade this. This guy is always, I mean, so different MCVs have different stats, but you can never upgrade handling or range, because you can't control, handling's how quickly it can move from square to square, and you can't move the MCV. It's stationary in the middle all the time, blocking your line of sight like a jerk. We're gonna buy, let's see what the shop has. Oh, dang it. Shields Mark III. We're gonna have to remember that. Mark III is the most strongest shield you can get on a support vehicle. And I want to equip this guy with his shields. Yeah, let's fight. Oh no. Every time you enter a new zone, sometimes they'll just have a little story thing for no reason. There are 3 factions in this game. There's red, green, and blue. They each have different styles of vehicles, but we're not really going to get into that. So this is a story mission. You approach the professor's laboratory. The plot around it is littered with various bits of machinery, presumably discarded experiments, while the laboratory itself appears to be an old hangar. Let's approach the laboratory. As you approach the laboratory, you hear the unmistakable sounds of combat. It appears several raider vehicles are attacking it. We shall intervene! My god, that poor scientist. Captain, and you're gonna go over here. And we're just gonna blast the crap out of that guy, and we're gonna stun everything, as is our way. What was I saying? Something about upgrading vehicles? Shields? Nope, I don't remember what I was saying. You can ram vehicles, so you'll notice each of these vehicles, these guys have little 1 tick marks next to them. These guys have 2 tick marks. That means if I were to ram the 1 tick mark with a 2 tick mark, it would go, like, let's say this guy rams this, moves here, rams this guy, he'll move in the opposite direction. I think it may also work on the same size. I don't quite remember. There is mutual damage from ramming, but there is also... It's pretty easy to kit out a vehicle, so it's just built for ramming. Like there's a saw weapon, and there's a yellow utility thing, which means you take no damage from ramming. So you can just, you know, go nuts with it. He's gonna give us a flux capacitor, and what's the problem with it? I have one lying around actually, you could buy it off me, no problem. What's wrong with it though? Oh, it wants 500 parts, which we do not have. Can we come to another arrangement? Possibly. It's not as if you happen to be a psychopathic murderer who'd enjoyed killing dozens of raiders that happen to have bothered me recently, are you? Actually, I am that person. Let's go kill a bunch of raiders. We could also have opted to go away, get the 500 and come back. Privateers have the roadblock. I will not pay your toll, privateers. You can have up to 4 support crafts. That's basically what I'm waiting for right now. Or not really waiting for, but what I'm hoping to happen is to acquire a couple more craft. When you pick the other starting craft, or at least when I pick the other starting craft that have less slots, I'm basically, well, I fill up my 2 slots first, but then from then on, I'm kind of just trying to replace any vehicle I have with a more slotted vehicle. And you kind of have to be aware of that, because you saw me upgrade the armor and health of these ships. You don't want to, it's kind of risky to put too many screws into a vehicle that you're hoping to get rid of eventually. So there's that cool decision risk reward balance decision system, which I think makes, you know, for a good roguelike of this nature. This game's definitely a lot easier than FTL, and I think what I really like about it is FTL has that almost oppressive sense of impending doom, because you have the fleet closing in after you all the time, and fuel is definitely a lot harder to come by. This game has something similar. I haven't figured out exactly how it works, but so you'll see that these hexes are lightly outlined in green. Over here you can see that the light outline is like, means the privateers have a weak control over this area, and it goes up to strong, and as you progress through the game, these will get more filled in, but I'm not sure what really influences it. Like if I flee from combat, does that mean they get a foothold and get stronger? I don't really know. No, it seems to be inevitable, and it is definitely something that pushes you towards the final boss. You can't just grind forever, because if you try to, eventually the raiders just get strong enough that they start to wear you down. Like the screws and fuel you're getting per fight aren't enough to really mitigate the little chips they're kind of getting in. Do we have anything closer? Oh, let's get this. Yeah, I thought this was back here. What do we gotta do? We gotta kill something. It's tucked back here. Okay. We're in the boonies. Defend yourself. We don't know anything about these food cubes. Okay, he attacks us. That's one thing interesting as well. So in this game, there's a lot of like those situations which you'll see multiple times. Like that one, I skipped over it, but that one was a guy complaining about how we'd taken his food, even though we clearly hadn't, obviously. Like you guys didn't see me take anybody's food. And you can explain that to him. That's one of the options you have to respond with. In this case, he chose to attack me anyway, but I've had it where he's like, oh, I see, I'm sorry, got you confused, and he's gone away. So that's just completely random. There's no like skill checks involved with that, and that's kind of cool. I actually like that because it's not a major thing. It's definitely super frustrating, like if you're nearing the end of the game and you're running low and like you're heading towards a camp and you're like, I don't want to get attacked. I just need to repair my MCV. I just don't want to get attacked, and it happens. That can be really frustrating, but such is the nature of these games, I think. So here you'll see me moving guys a lot because managing the line of sight is probably the most important thing in combat here. Obviously, it's important to watch out for obstacles and that kind of thing, but that line of sight stuff is very important for maximizing your DPS. What are we doing? Oh, it's a warband. Okay, we're gonna come back later because that is basically a kind of mini boss. And we can't do it. I don't want to try to do it with my current loadout. I need at least one more vehicle, or my current vehicles to have just more weapons. Like my output is just way too low right now. So I think what I'm going to do, what do I want to do? So I think I'm just going to fast forward, because you've seen a bit of the fair enough from the combat. So I'm going to fast forward and basically just show you guys anything I do that's related to getting parts, or is maybe like a special encounter that you don't normally get because of RNG. So I'll see you guys in a second, and I'll talk about all the great loot I obtained, etc, etc. Okay, so we've had a random encounter, which is pretty awesome. So we've beat these bandits, and he says, and he changes me to a fight. I'm like, what kind of fight? It's like, we speak of chess, of course, the greatest sport known to the educated elite. Sir Kingkiller, the educated, has lacked a worthy opponent for quite some time, leaving us in a spot of bother. Pray show your valiant skills as a battlefield commander on the battlefield of chess. What say you, good man? I say, I accept. And now we have a little minigame. I'm going to move a pawn, I'm going to move a knight, I'm going to ponder. You cannot lose. Basically, yeah. I think the rook is always your winning move. I'm not actually sure what the order is. Like, I know, like, if he moves a bishop, I move a rook and win. I don't really know what the thing is, but if you just keep doing it, you can't lose. So keep doing it and you'll eventually do it, and you get checkmate. Clearly the rook is the best piece in the game. Sir Kingkiller the Educated looks momentarily dumbfounded before exclaiming, "Jolly good show, you are truly an inspiration to all of Omic Prime. I particularly liked your usage of your rooks." And we can let him join us. So yeah, sure. So he comes as a vehicle with his own set of gear. And he's an okay vehicle. He's a bandit vehicle. So bandit vehicles typically don't have a utility slot, which is fine early on in the game, but against the final boss, it's sorely missed. So I'll end up keeping him though, because he's got good gear, and finding something to replace him with isn't guaranteed. What do you got? These roads are raider territory. Haha, idle threats. I fear no raider. Okay, we've made it to the flux capacitor checkpoint. After inspecting the area, you've identified their base of operations and discover that there is a small squad of vehicles protecting the outskirts, whilst a larger group defends the base. You'll have to fight both of these groups. Sure, let's do it. I actually don't know that I've done this, like, mini-boss before. Doesn't ring any bells anyway. So this is the Kingkiller. Actually, looks like his loadout's a little different each time. So, what this weapon is, it's rockets. And rockets are really cool because you don't have to have line of sight to use them. And their DPS is pretty good. They're a little riskier to use because if the target's moving, the rocket is fired at the square. At the target's at the time you fire it. So if they're far enough away, by the time the rocket gets there, they will have moved and dodged it. And also this guy has less range, which is a little annoying. So he has to get kind of close, which I guess makes the rockets more effective, but it kind of makes the line of sight thing less important. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Okay, that worked out smoothly. So that was kind of, I was hoping there'd be some weird pathing there, because that would have been a good example of two things adjacently trying to move. Let's get you guys back to take out the wave number one. Wave number one seems pretty easy. Did I just run him into a wreck like an idiot? Ugh. That could happen sometimes. Boom. Easy peasy. Let him come. Wave 2. Show me what you got. Okay, so it's not like an actual mini-boss. This is basically just the exact same wave again, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping for a cool mini-boss. I'll show you guys what a boss looks like. I'm sure there'll be a mini-boss before the right, we'll fight the bandit boss before we fight the boss. So we got the flux capacitor. Excellent. Or no, we can go claim the flux capacitor. So something I have forgotten to explain so far in this game. Anything closer than that I can do en route? Yeah, let's do this whole down here. Armor versus health. So basically, it's kind of how you think it would work. Armor reduces the damage you take to your health each time you get shot. Most weapons do some damage to armor every time they hit, so it goes down over time. Let's investigate this city. Why? Oh, I see. As you drive through the urban area, you notice civilians mindlessly lumbering through the streets. They all appear to be wearing high-tech collars. Actually, let's approach him. What's he say? As you approach one of the civilians, all of them halt and turn to stare at your convoy. Before you have a chance to react, they suddenly speed towards your convoy and explode when near. More civilians converge towards your position from the surrounding streets and alleyways. So those explosions occurred, meaning look, you can see some of my things lost HP. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Let's shoot them, because I'm a violent fool. You start shooting the civilians, who all explode upon being hit. None of them manage to reach your convoy. Eventually, the constant stream comes to an end. Let's investigate. You find a transmitter device and suspect it was responsible for mind controlling those civilians. Judging from its design, it was manufactured by Torvac. Let us salvage it for parts. The transmitter was of exception design, leaving your engineers stumped regarding how it functioned. Luckily, parts are still parts, and you managed to obtain 244 from it. That is fantastic. That was a very good beacon. Let's look out for trouble. Trouble does not appear. Excellent. Which quest is this? The filthy betraying raider's signal is coming from this general area. He can't be far. Oh, right. That earlier guy who ran away from us. Let's investigate. There he is now, hanging out with some raider friends, wasting all of your precious fuel. It's payback time. Sucker. Okay, only 3 of you again. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty short payback time. Let's move you here. This could be some good pathing issues. Let's see what happens. Are you gonna go try and go that way? Nope. Okay, you're smart. Prove me wrong. I'm totally fine proving me wrong. Be good pathing. I welcome good pathing. You get closer. Sometimes when on the very edge of the range, it doesn't count as them being in range, which can be a little on the irritating side. Can you shoot from there? I wonder. You can. Excellent. Okay, which quest is this? I don't remember. According to your data, a Torvac intelligence hub should be somewhere in this area. I think we're at the over here at the multicellulose infused ethanol. After a brief investigation, you spot a massive building with the obvious signs of Torvac technology. This should be the intelligence hub you're looking for. Numerous Torvac vehicles patrol the area around it, whilst the facility itself has some impressive-looking auto turrets. Let's just try to attack them. These guys are jerks. They managed to get a few hits on my vehicle before I get close. Yeah, whatever. It's not gonna help you. You're all going down. Oh, crap. They've got stuff. So these are shields. Shields can frequently be rather annoying. Fortunately, because of this stupid vehicle, these stun things, if they have a shield, instead of stunning, they remove the shield, which sounds maybe like a bad thing, but it's really, really useful. So this guy goes pop instantly. Poop. Yep, okay. Move you guys here. Take him out super quick. No shield for you. Shields just come back over time. It's not like you didn't take damage, they come back. They just, once they're popped, they're on a cooldown time, and they come back when that's over. Stay in my line of sight, you cad. That's the one bad thing about ramming, is sometimes it can be really hard to keep them. Okay, so we got skulls coming all around. Let's pull up. If we can keep that guy stunned, if we can keep both these guys stunned, they'll collide with this skull, whatever source it is. And that'll be awesome. No, we couldn't do it. We might, oh, no, dang it. We can get either of them. That's really disappointing. It'll do you no good, though. Okay, so we scan the databanks. The databanks hold the location of a Torvac sonic screw facility. Surprisingly, it doesn't turn out to be stationary. It turns out to be a mobile production vehicle, which presumably needs the vibrations of travel to produce the sonic screws. Its travel schedule depicts its current location, so finding it shouldn't prove difficult. Roll out.